All right, so shh.
Because the road is like 20 minutes away. By the time we get here, they
What we're gonna do is a homework question. Any homework question you want me to go over? Yes.
Number 2.
What's the number 2 says?
Y equals 3x minus 2 over 3x squared plus x minus, plus x minus 2.
Is that right? Okay, so I'm gonna factor the bottom. So I'm gonna use box method to factor it. It's 3x squared minus 2 and x. So this is 3x and x. And this is a 1 and 2. So this is 3x and 2x. It seems like the bottom one need to be negative. So that's gonna be y equal to 3x minus 2 over 3x minus 2 times x plus 1. Is that okay?
eliminate 3x minus 2.
Okay, so now if you simplify it, that becomes 1 over x plus 1. This is a function that you're gonna graph. It's a graph the simplified one. However, there is a lot of things going on beforehand. Whatever you cancel is a what? It's a whole. Good. So 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Is that okay? This is the x value for the whole. Is that okay? Now 3x equal to 2. X equal to 2 over 3. Is that okay? With that being said, I need to find the y value of the whole. We find the x value of the whole. What do we have to do? Plug in where? The new equation. Once you plug in the new equation, so that means f of 2 over 3 in this case. So it'll be 1 over 2 over 3 plus 1. And if you still don't know how to add fraction, you need to know how to add fractions. Why? Because your next year is going to be shitload of fractions. Okay? You got integral, you got derivative, you got fraction everywhere. So you cannot tell me you don't know how to add fraction. There are people in my calculus class right now don't know how to add fraction. And their grade is 0. So you need to know how to add fractions. You need to know how to multiply a fraction. Those are very standard things. My test never have a calculator until the 3rd night week. Okay, including here as well. So that's equal to, this one is going to be times 3 over 3. So that is going to be 5 over 3. Now it's equal to 1 divided by 5 over 3. So that's equal to 3 over 5. Is that okay? So therefore it's 2 over 3 and 3 over 5. Now, this is known as the whole, but I'm going to teach you a new name today. For next year or this year, there was a new name. This name is called, besides the whole, it's called removable discontinuity. I like whole too, but we need to teach you the right vocab.
Wait, you say removable
Discontinuity. Okay, so remove discontinuity. So remember, how do I graph this, right? 1 over x plus 1 is moving left or moving right? Moving left. So this is the graph. It's going to move left. So your graph should be like this and move left. So this is a point, but this point is going to create 2 asymptotes. The asymptote this way, and there's an asymptote this way. And it's going this way. But at a 2/3 is roughly 0.666. and 3/5 is roughly 0.6. So around here, 0.6 and 0.6 here, there's gonna be a hole. And you're gonna address where that hole is, which is 2/3 and 3/5. And this way is gonna be this way. Now, do we wanna find x-intercept? Well, there's no x-intercept. Can we find y-intercept? How do we find y-intercept? Which is 0, 1, which is intersect here, which is perfectly going through this point and actually going through this graph. And then you gotta double check your answers. If you don't double check your answer, you practically did not do homework. Because you doing something unless you're 100% precise. If you don't double check your answer, you're not gonna get it right on the test. You need to double check your answer and figure out what is wrong with your graph. The next test is gonna be including all the graph, which is all the rational functions, all the polynomial, the question you mess up on the last test. So you cannot just say, oh, I'm gonna move on for the next test. And sometimes even including quadratic. So you still go back to make sure you know how to graph all three things. So now we have rational, polynomial, and quadratic. Yeah.
Okay, so is the whole test about graphing, or are we gonna do other stuff?
Just polynomial, and yeah, it's pretty much about graphing. Vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote.
Can I take it up to school Monday? I've been through each of them. Make sure that's that Friday.
Then your excuse. You're not gonna cost everybody, as long as they are legitimate excuse. I'm okay. I'm okay with people with legitimate excuse. I have problem like people like, yeah, like Arthur don't show up to school, but he always show up on the test day.
One time. Since that, I have never not shown up to take the test.
Do we not get extra credit on this?
I haven't put in yet.
Tell me that.
Okay, any question about this question? This is a great question to put on the test. I will tell you that. Yes.
For like number 3, was it written correctly? Like, because it was minus 2x plus 2x, so then it like cancels out. But, like, did you mean to write it? I don't know, maybe some way else.
Hold on a second. What's the equation? What's the equation?
Oh, yeah.
I correct the first one, so x plus 1.
Equals x cubed
X cubed?
minus 5x minus 2x plus 2x.
Oh, it should be plus 2 maybe.
Oh, yeah. And then it was over x minus 3.
Okay, so this one I will do standard division.
I get experience. Wait. Because I plan like that, and I get experience like.
Huh? Which one's 24? Last one's 24? Wait, what is 24? It's 24 like this? Okay, let's try that.
I used to draw these, like, my teacher would make us draw these, like, practice.
Yeah, it's 24. Okay, so
Lost my phone.
now I have this part. That means this one is equal to 3x.
Wait, isn't it 1x?
Yeah, 1. I'm an idiot. Okay, so this one's gonna be x squared minus 2x minus 8. This is the new functions, right? Now, where is the hole at? Is a hole there? Actually, there's a hole because this one should be x minus 3. times x squared minus 2x minus 8 over x minus 3. And that's why they divide, that's become 1. So there was a hole there. So x equal to 3. Now 3 is going to plug it back in here. So it'll be 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 8. So that's going to be 9 minus 6 minus 8 is equal to 9 minus 14, which is negative 5. So at 3 and negative 5 is going to be a removable discontinuity. Okay, now we're going to worry about graphing this. This is a quadratic. We should know how to graph, multiple way to graph it. I can use the axisymmetry. I can use complete the square. So I'm going to do is I'm going to do complete the square. X squared minus 2x, and you said, I already forgot about that. Well, that's a problem with people in the United States. It's because you guys learn something and you just don't remember something after that. So that's going to be squared. That's going to be negative 1 squared. That's equal to 1. So it's going to be plus 1 here. Then it's minus 1 outside. So it's going to be x minus 1 squared minus 9. So that becomes a vertex form. The vertex form is going to be 1 and 9 unit down on the bottom. So it's right here. Is that okay? This is facing up. Now, what is the y-intercept on original function? It's at negative 8. So it's right here and right here. This corresponding point. Do you have x-intercept? If you go back here, hey, I know how to graph this. It's x minus 4 and x plus 2, right? So that's going to be 4 and 2. So 4 and negative 2. That's another 2 points. So it's going to have a parabola going this way and parabola going this way. Now 3 and negative 5 is going to be a hole. 3 and negative 5 is right here. There's a hole right here. And this is a function going up, this function going up. It's a parabola with a hole. Now this is a good questions because after this involved with what? Last test and the test before. Why? Because you had to be able to go graph quadratic function. You have to know you can use synthetic division, can divide, and that becomes a 2 different factor here. And this cancel out, that become a whole. And this is a very important to put on your note today if you're not getting it correct. Yes. 2 over 2, negative 2 over 2 is the middle divided by 2 square. So it's called completing the square. You can use axisymmetry to get the same thing. Any questions? So this is called a this has a lot of element in there from your last test and the test before and this test. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Going through the void x equal y.
What?
Is the graph going through the void of x equal y?
X equal to y? You mean what do you mean x equal to y? Huh? X equal to 5. I don't know what y equal to. I don't know. I mean, you can plug in to find out the value, but I don't know what is it. Oh, it's the middle divided by 2 square. Yeah, that's gonna be -2 over 2 square equal to -1 square equal to 1. It's completing the square from the last 2 tests ago. That's a vertex form, yes.
Yeah.
You change that to vertex form.
Can you send these notes to us later?
No? Can you write it down?
I'm so confused now.
There's a video. You can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Are you live right now?
Yeah. You just need to remember to tell me to turn off. Nobody's watching.
It's like my one job.
And not even that you can get it done.
Okay, so you did.
You like an evil smell before you said that.
Okay, so you can remove -3 from the equation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go. If you need to go bathroom, let's go.
This becomes the actual.
Questions? Now, the same people don't do homework. Make sure you do homework. Brandon, the golf season's already finished. An author, you do need to start doing something.
Yeah. How's that? And then that's
He didn't get a single point
graph. This is the graph of
on my
the
test.
because of the whole.
Okay, well, I knew that. But what about
Where did 9 come from?
Did you even do the second part?
All right. Shh. Can we go move on? You suppose? Okay.
Oh, is that? You're here for lunch.
One more was here though.
Well, as in, to, like, I can come bother.
You can come bother. Which lunch?
And then you divide.
Nicholas is always here.
I'll come to bother, but like. Wait, so where's the 8? Who's negative 8?
Okay.
If you do like a rotation on your hair, would your hair like
All right. Shh. We're gonna talk about today. Review a little bit. Do you know how to find domain of rational function?
Yeah.
How do I find domain? You say yes. So how do you find domain of rational function?
basically? I don't know. Usually I grab the first and then I do domain. Do you mean like just find domain from the
Yeah.
equation?
From the rational equation. How do I find domain? Denominator what? That's good. Denominator what? Huh? Make them cannot equal to 0 actually. Okay, but denominator cannot equal to 0 because if you have a denominator, you said it cannot equal to 0. Domain. Okay. Do you find out how to find the x-intercept? No, make it y equal to 0. Which is actually the numerator equal to 0. So numerator equal to 0. Why? Because what if you have x minus 1 on the top? If the top is equal to 0, then whole thing is equal to 0. So numerator equal to 0. Numerator of rational functions. Okay. Y-intercept is x equal to 0. Fairly easy. What is a whole? Which is also remove discontinuity. Remove discontinuity has the x and y, right? How do we find the x? How do we find the x? Cancel out factor equal to 0, right? Cancel factor equal to 0 and solve, right? And once you did y, plug in the new equation. So plug in new equation. Plug in the simplify equation. Simplify equation. Okay. Now, how do I find vertical asymptote? Same thing. Vertical asymptote. Now, this time is the denominator equal to 0. denominator equal to 0. The other one's denominator cannot equal to 0 because you don't want it equal to 0 on the denominator because therefore it's undefined. How do I find horizontal asymptote?
Degree of the numerators and denominators.
So this is how I study. Do I know how to find domain? Do I know how to find x-intercept? Do I know how to find the hole? Do I know how to find vertical asymptote? Do I know how to find horizontal asymptote? Now, horizontal asymptote is compare the degrees, right? Compare degree or highest degree, not only degree, the highest degree of numerator versus the denominator. Okay, so what if the same degree is what? Same degree is the easiest one, is the ratio of leading term. So if it's 5x squared over 2x squared, then it's going to be 5 over 2. If the bottom degree is larger, okay, which is where's horizontal asymptote? Bottom's larger. The bottom degree is larger. Y equal to 0. Good. What if the numerator is larger? Numerator degree is larger, then there is no horizontal asymptote. We are going to talk about that. I'm glad that you mentioned that. When numerator is larger, there is a possible you get a slant asymptote. So slant asymptote. So what do I mean by slant asymptote? How do I find a slant asymptote? What? So in a slant asymptote, if numerator degree by 1 degree is larger by 1 degree, you're gonna have a slant asymptote. So it's larger by 1 degree. And we're gonna talk about is 1 degree. Why is it 1 degree? Because 1 degree is a line. If it's 2 degree, it's gonna be a parabola. That's why there's something called second degree asymptote, which is I will show you. You don't have to know it, but there is a second degree asymptote besides slant asymptote. So slant asymptote also has a name. It's called oblique asymptote. It's not that important on the AP exam, but just know that sometimes you do have a slant. But how do you find slant? By long division. By long division. So for example, I have x squared minus 3x minus 5 over x minus 1, like this. Okay, so actually, hold on a second. Let me do a different one. Let me do a minus 2x minus 8 because we did that one earlier. So this will be good one to do with. So x squared minus 2x minus 8 over x minus 1. So technically, do you have a domain? What would be the domain here? You are mumbling. Almost everything but 1. You're very good at picking the wrong answer,
Not
but that's
perfect,
okay.
I tried. God damn it.
Anything number besides 1. That's a good choice, by the way. Good wrong choice. Perfect wrong choice. So negative infinity to 1 and 1 to infinity.
You know, they say that if you get if you get all the wrong answers, that means you were so smart you knew all the right ones. You know.
That's true. There was a one time
So
in a
just add in 1, 0, 0.
There was a one-
Totally applicable to you.
there was a one time in a math competition that because the math competition, if you get a question wrong, you actually get -1 points. So technically, it was 30 questions. So the highest score is
I know
120.
my score.
The lowest score is -30. So there was a kid named Zayden, and he's like, "I'm so smart, I can get all of them wrong." I said, "Bet we're gonna bet $20 you're not gonna get all of them wrong." So he
Someone
tried to
make
get
that bet.
when he tried to get all of them wrong, he got 26 wrong. So he got -26 points instead of -30 points. He had to get -30 points in order to win $30. But it's actually harder to getting every single question wrong because you have to know all the right answers.
Yeah, you wanna bet money?
Well, it's multiple choice. The probability of winning that is very little.
Yeah.
All right, so domain is going to be negative infinity to 1 and 1 to infinity. Do you have vertical asymptote? Do you have vertical asymptote? What is a vertical asymptote here? X equal to 1. This will be a good question for Arthur.
Every time I never answer stupid questions. One time I get like the only wrong answer.
You can have input number on the choices, and you got one wrong.
I know, right?
Okay, so let me ask you: is any horizontal asymptote here? So it's larger on the top. If it's larger on the top, there is no horizontal asymptote. So horizontal asymptote is none. Is none. Okay, so there's no horizontal asymptote. However, there's a slant because it's larger by 1 degree. It's actually larger by 1 degree. So how do I find slant? I'm gonna take x squared minus 2x minus 8, and I'm gonna divide this by x minus 1. So that's gonna be x squared minus x. That's gonna be minus sign. This is 0. This is a minus x. Minus 8 minus 1, so it'll be negative x plus 1, and that's equal to -9, I believe. So this one is the same thing. The new equation is going to be x minus 1 plus 9, or actually minus 9 over x minus 1.
Let's use the other way of dividing.
You can in this case because it's x minus something, but usually long divide is fine. You can use synthetic if you want.
So, big chance of we have to solve for slant asymptote on the test.
Yes.
Dang it.
Yes.
Why is it none? Is it the
Because it's larger on the top. So this 2 is greater than 1 on the top. If top is greater, then it's no horizontal asymptote. If no horizontal asymptote, it's going to be 1 slant asymptote in this case because larger by 1 degree. If larger by 2 degrees, it's going to be a 2nd degree asymptote, which is I will show you in a second.
but you wrote that numerator degree is lower, then that means no horizontal, and that's numerator. Numerator is higher.
No, numerator is larger.
Oh.
The whole is the cancel factor. So you set cancel factor equal to 0 and plug in the simplified equation. Simplify equation here. So once you simplify, you plug in, you should get y value. And then you're going to get x and y. Usually you're going to get x and y coordinates. Are we okay here?
Wait, you divided it?
No, this is not horizontal.
Okay, once you get the slant, the answer is just x minus 1.
Okay, slant asymptote is right here. This is your slant. So we can graph that. Sorry. Can you find x-intercept first? Well, x-intercept is what? I'll factor the top. So it'd be x minus 4, x plus 2 over x minus 1. So where's x-intercept? Not 2. No, not 1 either. Numerator equal to 0. So it's gonna be 4, 0, and negative 2, 0. Because this is just like the question before we did the homework. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in. We're gonna say, hey, there is 2 x-intercept. It's 1 is at 4. And 1 is negative 2. Is that okay? Then there is a 2 x-intercept. There is a, what else? There is a vertical asymptote where? X equal to 1. Is that okay? There's a slant asymptote, x minus 1. How do I graph that? Well, I'm going to go to negative 1 for y-intercept. That's a line. It has slope of 1, so it's going to be graphing like this. So it's going to be a slant asymptote like this. Is that okay? Is this okay? Is any y-intercept here? Y-intercept is what? Not negative 1. 0, 8, right? If I plug in 0 for x, that's going to be 0, 8. So that is another point here.
Wait, does the slant asymptote not include the 9 over x minus 1?
No, not including that. That part is no. Okay, are we okay here? Now the graph's going to be something like this. Now remember, your graph go to infinite on a slant or horizontal, it should go toward asymptote. So this graph is probably going to go toward asymptote if I go in this way. Is that okay? Now, this one is going to go connect the other point. But if we're not sure, how do they behave? Because sometimes we say that sometimes they can cross. Can they cross a slant asymptote? I think there's a possibility. I don't know exactly. So I don't know if they'll cross the slant asymptote. I don't think so. But let's just say, for example, we don't know. And then from this one, it's going to go toward the asymptote. So this one is going to go toward the asymptote. So this part is going to go toward the asymptote. Is that okay? Now, what happened the other end? What happened if I go into a vertical asymptote? Are they going to go up or go down, right? So I have two choices. I have choices that they can come down or they can go up. Which one's better choice? Probably up's better. But if I want to make sure if they are going up, how do I make sure? Now, I'm going to teach you a little bit of calculus here. Not going to be pre-calculus here, then this particular part. Usually, teacher will just say, hey, just graph this and this. And that would be perfect. But I'm going to teach you a little bit of calculus here. So let's take this original function here. Y equal to x minus 4x plus 2 over x minus 1. So what we can do a limit x approach 1 from the left side. So this means approaching x equal to 1 from the left of x minus 4, x plus 2 over x minus 1. So approaching x from the left. It's 8, not -1. 0, 8. How is that? Plug in 0 for x. 0, 0, 0. So it's gonna be 8 over 1. Okay, so how do I do it for approaching? This is what you're gonna learn next year. But this year I'm gonna teach you early. Approaching x equal to 1 from the left. From left. You're approaching from the left. So what's a value that's 0.1 less than 1? 0.9. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in 0.9 minus 4. And then 0.9 plus 4. And then 0.9 minus 1. I don't care what the value is. I don't care about the values. I only care about the sign. What do you think the sign of 0.9 minus 4? Negatives. What do you think 0.9 plus 4? 0.9 minus 1 is positive or negative? Negative, right? So what do you think the sum of the sign is? Positive. So we know this is a positive and also positive infinity.
So how do we get 0.9? It has
It just used 0.9 because we know if I take a value at 0.9, either it's going to be really negative or really positive because due to the asymptote. So remember the graphs are going to go straight up or go straight down like this. So we're using a 0.9, it would be a good gauge. You'll be close enough to tell you, is it going to go negative or going to go positive? And I don't care about the actual number. I only care about what happened to your approach there. 0.9 is approaching 1 from the left. If you're approaching 1 from the left, it's going to be 0.9. If you're approaching 0.1 from the right, then it's going to be 1.1, which is what we're going to do next. Yes, Shreya? You can. That's what I'm saying. Most of the pre-calc teacher will tell you this way. Now, since I'm teaching calculus, next year, you make your life easier. I'll teach you correctly right now. If I teach you correctly right now, is I'm plugging a value that's very close to the asymptote and only from the left. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to approaching from the right, and this is how you write it. As a limit x approach 1 from the positive side. So as the positive side, we're going to plug in 1.1. So it'll be 1.1 minus 4, right? 1.1 plus 2. And then 1.1 minus 1. So what sign am I getting here? Negative, right? Positive, right? And then positive. So what happened at the end? Negative infinity. So the graphs are going to go down, negative infinity, like this. And that is your hardest graph, is because it's hard, is because you're going to plug in value next to asymptote. You know how they behave. So like it's instead of M behavior before, now we know the behavior right next to the asymptote. Is that, you know, I'm not touching your face, I'm not touching your face, I'm getting so close to you. But I could touch your forehead, I could touch your chin. Really depend. Forehead is gonna go up, the chin's gonna go down.
Wait, Mr. Hay,
Wait, what?
you know how you said you were coaching? What is it?
Like that.
Wait, what did you say? What did you say?
Like the same.
What you say?
You said like they both approach the asymptote. Which asymptote? Both of them.
X equal to 1 is asymptote, right?
Yeah, blew himself up.
So for example, we take Arthur as an example. Like we're gonna get really close to him, but we need to figure out, are we gonna touch his forehead or their chin? We're pretty much gonna get very close. So we're plugging a value very close to Arthur. Because Arthur is asymptote, remember?
Yeah, but doesn't the slant asymptote what?
Huh?
Because x minus.
Yeah, x minus 1, but we're not caring about x minus 1. We care about the x minus 1 on the denominator. Because the denominator is what happens, vertical asymptote happened at 1. We can get a value that's really close to it. Okay, so this is how would I write it. If I write it as limit x approach to 1 from the left, then I will plug in the value of 0.9, 0.9, 0.9. I'll check the sign at the end. Are they going to go positive infinity or negative infinity? Okay, so then that way I know the graph's going to go this way and the graph's going to go this way. Now we can check the graph. So we're going to check the actual graph x squared. And I'll show you on the decimals too. X squared. My bad. Yeah, 1.9 and 2.1. Divided by x minus 1, right? Do you remember this asymptote at x equal to 1? That is going to be the asymptote. And that's how you check your answer. That's the asymptote. Is that okay? Okay, so this is a vertical asymptote. This is Arthur. Okay, he's gay.
Now it's supposed to be a secret.
It's okay.
It's funny because everyone knows I'm just so straight. Wait, that sounds.
Y equal to x minus 1. Do you see that? And you're gonna see this. Look at this. They follow strictly on the asymptote. They're getting really close to it, but they are not touching it.
Wait, is this the controversial shit you were talking about, like the other day?
Horizontal asymptote.
Yes, it's so close, and then.
No, horizontal asymptote, they actually cross
Oh, wait,
in the
they
middle.
do cross, and they do go. No.
Yeah, we just know horizontal asymptote is what happened later. Are they eventually gay? But we don't care about what happened beginning part,
It's
which is
like Freddie Mercury.
whatever you say.
You know who Freddie Mercury is?
No idea.
Freddie Mercury. Google him right now.
No, I don't
He was
want to.
the Queen lead singer. He had a fiance, and then like he realized, yo, look, he meant time, and then he turned gay.
He got AIDS and died.
And then he got AIDS.
Yeah, it's that's sad.
You'll come in tomorrow.
Who?
Me and Iowa.
Yup, yeah.
We come in tomorrow, and I help him with the ones that he got wrong. My grade will
Are
go
you
up.
gonna help me tomorrow? Are you gonna help me tomorrow, like that?
Yeah,
I think you're gonna help.
yeah.
He's at B lunch though.
Will my grade go up?